Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my April in and out. So if you have not seen one of these videos, basically I'm telling you everything that I'm hauling for the month as well as everything that I'm unhauling. And generally I like the idea of like taking out more than I'm bringing in, but that almost never happens, and this month is no exception. So I got this stack of books, and they all came from one Pango bookstore. So if you guys aren't on Pango, I don't know what you're doing, because it's like the best way to buy books. And I put everything that I unhaul goes on Pango, and so then you get like Pango bucks in your like bank, and you can just transfer those to your bank account, or you can just use them to buy more books. So I was after one book, and that book is You've Been Volunteered by Lori Gelman. So this is a part of the Class Mom series, and I have, I think this is number 2, and I have number 1, I've been looking for number 2 and 3, can't find them like anywhere. They're like rarities, and if I do find them, it's super expensive. So I found this one for a really good price, and so then the gal was having like 20% off if you spend a certain amount, free shipping if you spend a certain amount, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I went through her shop and I picked out the rest. So this one, like I said, number 2 in the Class Mom series. It's a really funny series about this woman who has, I think, like teenage kids, and then she has like a later in life kid who is in the first book he's in kindergarten, and she becomes the class mom, and she's just snarky. Some people love her, some people don't. I think it's funny. And she just kind of makes a joke, the whole class mom PTA thing, and it's just funny. So I'm excited. I don't think I've read this one. I think I've read 1 and 3, and you don't need to read them in order. It's just like the first one are kids in kindergarten. This one, I think it's in somewhere. I keep saying he. I think it's a he. But this one is sometime later in school. Her older kids are still aging, and her youngest kid is going through school. So love these books. So here's everything else I bought in order to get that and get the discounts, because of course, why not? So we've got 6 Months Later by Natalie D. Richards, and this one I had never heard of. And it says she has everything she's ever wanted, but not her memory. And the main character is Chloe. Chloe fell asleep in study hall in the middle of May, and she wakes up, snow is on the ground. She can't remember the last 6 months of her life. I love the amnesia trope. I always think it's interesting to read characters with my name. Sometimes, like, I feel like certain names have certain connotations, like, consistently. In fact, when I read my husband's name, Jeremy, Jeremy in books is almost always the same character. Let me know if you agree. And Chloe's, I haven't found like a theme. So let's see. This says before she'd been a mediocre student, now she's on track for valedictorian and being recruited by Ivy League schools. Before she had never had a chance to with super jock Blake, now he's her boyfriend. So like so much of her life has changed. What the heck happened? This kind of reminds me of What Alice Forgot by Leah Moriarty, which is like my favorite. I love that book. And so this is like the YA version. So I'm excited. Next is a book that I have already read. This is Invisible Emmy by Terry Liebenson, and this is a like middle grade graphic novel, and it's decently wordy, but I love this. I gave it 5 stars. This is Crushes, Humiliation, Drama, Middle School. This is a story of 2 totally different girls, quiet, shy, artistic Emmy, and popular, outgoing, athletic Katie, and how their lives unexpectedly intersect one day when an embarrassing note falls into the wrong hands. And so I remember loving this. I haven't read it in a while, and it's a part of a series, and I'm really excited. I want to read it again, and so I'm excited to have this on my shelf. And this is in pretty good condition. So, like, the spine has not been cracked. So this, I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. I love well-loved books, but this one is in great condition for the price I paid. I'm not okay with it. I am okay with it. I'm not mad about it. Next is A Week of Mondays by Jessica Brody. So this gal obviously had quite a bit of YA. This is a pretty thick book. So sometimes it takes a whole week of Mondays to figure out what you really want. When I made the wish, I just wanted a do-over. Another chance to make things right. I never in a million years thought it might actually come true. So I think this is like a Groundhog's Day situation. She is 16 and she's having a serious case on the Monday. She gets a ticket for running a red light. She manages to take the world's worst school picture. She blah, 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 blah. As far as Monday goes, it doesn't get much worse than this. And Ellie is positive that if she could just do it all over again, she'd get it right. So she wakes up the next morning to find out she's reliving the exact same day. So this is interesting, and it's told, like, I don't think there's chapters, but it's like the fourth Monday, and maybe there's chapters within that, but I'm not seeing it. So it's interesting. I think there's also maybe some diary entries. I don't know. I'm excited to read this. I love YA for like a good refresher. So this is thick, but it'll be good, I think. Over 400 pages. Yikes. Next is a book that I hear a lot about, and this is American Royals by Catherine McGee. So this one I feel like is also thick. These are some big books. It is. It's like 450 pages. And this is about what would happen if America was a monarchy instead of like a democracy. And I've heard this is really great, like just kind of mindless, kind of like reality TV, kind of trash TV kind of thing. I think Nicole from The Girly Old Bookworm, do you really like this? I think so. I can't remember, but I was intrigued enough to throw it into my cart to get all the discounts. It's not something I've been like itching to read, but I'm intrigued. So there's that. And then this one is huge, you guys, huge. This is a brick. And it's called Postcards from Summer by Cynthia Platt. This is 568 pages. Hi, caramba. The days I spent with you here will always be the best part of my entire life, no matter what happened. I never intended to hurt you, but I know I did. If you're somehow forgiven me, I'll be waiting for you in our place by the lake. But if not, I understand. So this is another YA about a 17-year-old. She's always wanted to know more about her mother, who passed away when Lexi was only a child, but her dad will barely talk about her. He says he'd rather live in the present with Lexi, her stepmom, and her half-brother. Lexi loves her family too, but is it so wrong to want to learn about the mom she never got to know? Lexi's grandma dies and leaves her a chest that belonged to Lexi's mother, and so she's excited to find that there's a bunch of keepsakes inside. Her mom held on to a bunch of stuff from a summer getaway in Mackinac Island. So there's a postcard about maybe a romance, and I'm guessing maybe that's the postcard that's on the back. I don't know. Without telling her dad, Lexi goes to the island in Lake Huron, reachable only by ferry. So she follows her mother's footsteps and befriends an elderly former Broadway star and a charming young hotel worker. And so I think this will be a great summer read, and it's really pretty, but it is really thick. I did not look up any of these on Goodreads, so I hope these have like decent ratings, because for this big of a book, it better. But YA always goes so quickly. So that is the stack that I bought from Pango, and I think that's all that has come in to my house this month, which feels good. It feels like controlled. I know May is going to be a bigger month, so let's see. So as far as unhauls go, I just did a video that was trying a chapter of the whole first shelf in my bookshelves upstairs of books that I only own physically. Like I can't get a digital copy. So I went through every book on that shelf. I think there was like 20 of them, and I read the first chapter, and I unhauled, I think 4 or 5. So I'm not going to put those in this video. Go to that video if you want to see the ones that I'm unhauling. But there are 2 more that I am unhauling. So let me tell you about those. Okay, the first is The Forgotten Road by Richard Paul Evans. So this one, I don't know what it's about. I think it's a trilogy about a man's walk, like, I don't know. Let's see, the second novel in the best-selling trilogy about a man on an inspirational pilgrimage across Route 66 to find his way back to himself. So Chicago celebrity and successful pitchman Charles James is supposed to be dead. Everyone believes he was killed in a fiery plane crash, but thanks to a remarkable twist of fate, he's very much alive and ready for a second chance at life and love. Narrowly escaping death has brought Charles some clarity. The money, the fame, the fast cars, none of it was making him happy. So he was married to his ex-wife, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he goes on this quest to walk the length of Route 66 from Chicago to California. So, this sounds intriguing enough, but this is the second in a series. I have no intention of buying the first and third. Generally, I don't love stories like about middle-aged men starting over, which is weird because I love stories about middle-aged women, but I think it's because like the relatability factor. I don't know. For some reason, this sounds like intriguing, but not so much that I need to keep 2 on my shelf, because if I'm going to own any of it in a series, I would like to own all 3, and you know, whatever. So I'm going to just let this go. I might read the trilogy at some point, but I'm going to let this go. The other one is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. So this one is one that I know others will love to have in their hands. And I read it and thought it was just okay. I gave it a 3 stars. So it's a decent romance kind of women's fiction. I would say probably more romance. And I just thought it was fine. I have a lot better on my shelf. I'm not trying to keep a hardback that takes up a lot of space for something that I don't have really any desire to reread, and I thought it was just okay. So those 2, along with the other 5 from that video, are going off my shelf. So technically, I'm taking 7 off my shelf and adding 6. So I did unhaul more than I'm hauling. But like girth-wise, I'm hauling some big books this month. So that is everything. Let me know if you've read any of the ones that I'm hauling, and if I should prioritize some of them. You guys, in that try a chapter tag, there's a couple of them that I have had you guys comment and say like I'm interested in you reading those, and I love that. That makes me want to like guide my reading and put those up top. So if there's any that I hauled just now that you want me to like prioritize, let me know. I'd be happy to do so. And if there's any of these that you want to buy, I'll link my Pango down below. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.